One of the things that most people who have ever even opened the Bible are familiar with is the idea of chapter and verses. But we forget that the chapters and verses of the Bible are fundamentally a finding system so that we can locate a particular piece of text, rather than the equivalent of chapters in a modern book. If someone is writing a modern book, they plan it out in a series of steps. Each of these is a chapter, and then they may be further divided into subsections of a chapter. And each piece is a particular unit within a larger argument. Now, when we look at a biblical book, it's clear that often they are marked out in units of text. There'll be a series of stories, then there might be a series of laws, then there might be another series of stories. But these original units, which the work of exegesis tries to identify, are often very much at variance with the chapters that we actually have. What we actually have when we look at a chapter, for instance, if we look at one of the Gospels and we see that Matthew chapter 5 begins the Sermon on the Mount, is actually divisions that were imposed on the text in the late 12th century. Sometimes these late 12th century impositions are the same as those that we today might, on a basis of the study of the text, suggest are the real divisions of the text. But very often they reflect the interests of the early scholastic period. Moreover, if we look at any biblical book, we can find that over the centuries, from the time they were written until around the 12th century, they had received many division systems. And one of the interesting areas of study in modern biblical studies is to look at how ancient theologians and ancient schools divided the text and used the text in a different set of divisions and chapters than we use today. So when you look at any biblical book and you see the chapter system, don't assume, number one, that it was there from the beginning, a reflection of the mind of the author, or that it represents the best way to analyse the book. It's merely a way of finding a place and communicating that place to another person. It represents the way the book was read around the year 1200.